Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be filming a reading wrap-up. It's been a long time since I last filmed a reading wrap-up. Okay, so today I'm going to be filming a reading wrap-up of the books I've read since the past few months that I haven't been filming. And yeah, so let's get started. So I do want to just say that I did not read a lot during these past couple months. I have been in a huge reading slump. Go ahead and get started and start off with the very first book that I read. So if you guys have watched my past video of when I did my most recent TBR video, I don't know what month that was, but you guys know that I put this in my, I think it was TBR, and I started it and I finished it. I tabbed a ton. I kind of actually want to talk about both the books while I'm at it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and discuss this first book. So this first book is called Dance of Thieves by Mary Pearson. This is part of a duology, and to say the least, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the duology, I enjoyed the series. In my reading vlog where I read Vow of Thieves, which is the second book in the duology, you guys know that I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with the main characters, with Cassie and Jace. I'm obsessed with their romance, obsessed with the enemies to lovers. I'm obsessed with the plot, the storyline, the political aspect of the book. It all was just so good. Definitely a quick, not quick, I guess. I mean, it could be quick for some, but it is definitely an easy read. Mary Pearson's writing is easy to read. They're short chapters, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. I'm bad at describing books, so I don't want to really talk about like what it's about, but we just kind of get the beginning of the romance between Cassie and Jace, which are the main characters. There is a found family trope in this book, which I adore. I love it so much. But yeah, you guys, I don't know if I've said it enough. I know I have in my reading vlog with Vow of Thieves, but if you haven't started this series, this duology, it's the perfect time to start it, especially if it's your first fantasy. This is actually my first fantasy duology, so yeah, as you guys can tell, it was amazing. I initially rated it 4 stars just because it had a cliffhanger that it was really good, and yeah, so I initially rated it 4 stars, which isn't bad. If you guys go on my Goodreads, you know that I don't rate my books with half stars, like 4.5, 4.25, because Goodreads doesn't do the half star. I just like to give the books that I read a whole number stars, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. Just because I rate it 4 stars does not mean that it isn't close to a 5 stars. Like, I definitely enjoyed this, but like I said, I initially rated this a 4 stars. So, which leads me to Vow of Thieves. I read this in September and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know that this is everyone's favorite book of the duology because it is good. It is good. There's more politics in this book, but there's also romance as well. You get to see, you know, the romance side of Cassie and Jace. It's good. I'm gonna just say that. It's really good. Like I said, pick it up, read it. I'm obsessed with the characters. I'm obsessed with the story, and you best believe that I am keeping these books 100% because this is probably like my fantasy to remember, especially being my first fantasy. So I rated this a 5 stars, but once I finished this book, I realized that I was obsessed with the characters. I was obsessed, I'm attached, I can't stop thinking about them. Their love is just so amazing. I love it. So then I went back and rated this 5 stars. So yeah, the duology as a whole is a 5 stars. So if you guys haven't read this duology yet, read it. It is fall, so a lot of people are more interested in reading fantasy during the fall. And if you guys haven't read this Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves duology, it's the perfect time right now to read it. So go and pick this duology up for yourself. You guys will not regret it. I'm gonna kind of talk about this book because I read this in June, July. It was very popular during the time, and I didn't exactly think I was going to love it, especially because I'm that type of person where if I see a book that is super hyped, I don't really like to read it during the period where it's hyped. I like to kind of read it, like wait a couple weeks or like a month after or a couple months after before reading it. So I didn't really know if this was gonna be worth the hype, but as I continued reading it, I started to realize that it was worth the hype, and that book is Happy Place by Emily Henry. This is my first Emily Henry book. I've never read an Emily Henry book, but I heard her books are amazing. I heard Book Lovers is amazing and Beach Read as well. So those are the only 2 books that I've heard more about, so that's why I say those books only. Point is, this is my first Emily Henry book, and I did not expect this to be a 5 stars for me. I was reading it, I was feeling the characters, feeling the vibe, really enjoying the growth of the relationship of, wait, is it Henry? Hold on. I read this like a couple months ago. Harriet and Wynne, I'm sorry. So I enjoyed the relationship, I enjoyed their growth. They definitely grew a lot from having miscommunication to then gaining that back. So I really did enjoy this book. And then one of the reasons why I feel like I rated this a 5 stars was because of how relatable it was to me at this time. So during this time when I read this book, I was really going through a certain phase in my life where I didn't know if I was on the right career path. And something that really stuck out to me in this book was the main character, or one of the main characters, or both of them technically, because they both kind of went through the same thing. We see Wynne kind of struggling at first, and then we also see Harriet kind of, she is a neurosurgeon. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But she's a neurosurgeon. She is basically studying for that. She's going to school for that. And she's doing that for her parents. But then she started to realize, is that really what she wants to do? Is that really what is making her happy? Or if that's really what is going to make her happy? It was just relatable to me at the time. I definitely went into the book kind of like I didn't know what to expect. But the fact that this book is, I heard it was more of a book, like if you're a people pleaser, you would most likely relate to it. And I would say that I did. I don't like to say I'm a people pleaser because although I do like to make people happy, I always think about myself as well. I enjoyed it. It was relatable and it was a 5 stars for me. I did not expect it to be a 5 stars. But I enjoyed it very much. So I am definitely keeping this book, and I believe Emily Henry is coming out with another book called Funny Story. So hopefully I'll pick that up. I'm excited to kind of read more Emily Henry books. I think that her writing is also easy to read. It's not that hard to get into, and yeah, I enjoyed her writing. I loved it, and yeah. The next book I read, it is a book that you see the hype of it, but then you read it and you're just like, you don't get it. This is that book. I hear that this is many people's favorite book of this author, and I just don't see it. So that is November 9th by Colleen Hoover. Yeah, this book really disappointed me. I don't know if it's because I have kind of expanded my reading taste. I read this after reading Dance of Thieves and Happy Place, so I don't know if it's because I've expanded my reading. I've read more books as well, but I rated this book a 3 stars at first, and then I started to think about it more, and it really feels like a 2 stars now. But when I started reading this book, I thought Ben was very strange. He was very strange, he was weird. I didn't like the vibe that he was giving off. He was kind of giving off like a, this is definitely an instant love, okay? Instant love. I don't think I'm in love with the instant love trope in books. So yeah, I just didn't really enjoy this book. I kind of just skimmed through it, honestly, while I was reading it. So this wasn't my favorite Colleen Hoover book. So this book is a 2 stars. Just wanna say that, but yeah, I was disappointed. I know this was, I believe this, I don't remember if it was Sarah's 5-star or a couple of booktubers that I've watched. It was their favorite Colleen Hoover book, so, but it wasn't mine, and I think that's okay. Different readers, we read different things, so we don't have to like the same book that everyone likes, but if we do, then that's okay. If we don't, that's also okay. And the last book I read this in September, finished it literally this past, I think, like 2 days ago, I think, and it is The Shadows Between Us. I rated this a 4 stars just because, here's the thing, I love this book. I think it's a good book for what it is. It's definitely described as a dark fantasy romance, so it does give that dark, you know, vibe, that dark fantasy vibe. And it also is described as an enemies to lovers. I don't know where the enemies part is, because I don't think there were enemies. It didn't sound like they were enemies. It's still good. I loved it. As you guys can see, I tabbed quite a bit. It's definitely a slow burn romance. Not a bunch of romance happens in the beginning. Like, there's literally, you get the romance in the end. I'm gonna just say it. Other than that, while I was reading it, I did catch myself laughing, giggling, enjoying the characters as well. I thought that it was just so funny how similar the main characters kind of were. They're definitely like that duo that, you know, can scheme together, and yeah, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. It's a 4 stars. Oh, I do want to say that while reading it, I was getting frustrated in the beginning, because how are you, like, you know, chapters in and there's still no romance between them? If you watch my vlog where I read this and kind of talked about, you know, my thoughts on the book, then you guys will know. So go ahead and watch that vlog. You guys will see my thoughts and all that stuff. So I talk more about this book in that video. I can't really think about anything else right now. All I can say is that it was frustrating reading this book in the beginning. The twist was also really good. I did not expect the twist. So yeah, it was a 4 stars. It is good for what it was. Good, quick, easy fantasy. The second book comes out next year, I believe, but it is not a sequel. It is another kind of standalone of Alessandra's sister's story. So I'm excited to read that one because I wanna know. And then hopefully we can get little snippets of Alessandra and the Shadow King because they're really cute. I do have to say the ending of this, I don't really, it could have been better, honestly, but it was still good. I still enjoyed the read. It was quick, easy to read. I enjoyed it very much, and yeah. Okay, so these are all the books that I read the past couple months that I haven't filmed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so that way you get notified whenever I post. And yeah, that's the end of this video. I'll be filming a kind of a collective book haul soon. Also, I'm hoping to record more, so watch out for that. And yeah, that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next video. Bye.